Welcome to Inspiring You with Sylvia Yu. I'm really excited about my next guest. She is so very elegant and very captivating in the way she communicates, presents herself, and organizes world-class events for clients and her friends. And she is very good friends with some of the world's most influential people. Olga Iserlis is a visionary in luxury event curation, renowned for her artful storytelling, meticulous execution, and impeccable taste. She's the founder of Adagio Events and has been at the forefront of bespoke, high profile experiences in Singapore, where she's based, and around the world. Olga has been a fixture on the Tatler 300 list of Singapore's most powerful elite, and her work has appeared in the BBC, New York Times, Harper's Bazaar, and SCMP. Olga, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Sylvia, so much for such a really nice introduction of me. And thank you for having me on your program. I'm really honored and happy to be here. Thank you.
Thrilled. I'm thrilled. I've been wanting to interview you for a really long time. I'm just very fascinated by your work and the body of work and just how you have managed to carry out some of the most unforgettable events, luxury events. So you've collaborated with the most influential people in the world, celebrities, people that are recognized in the news and in Hollywood. Can you share some of the highlights from your storied career?
Well, thank you for this question. This is actually a difficult one because my career doesn't really exist in neat peaks or milestones. It never feels like a series of trophies or headline moments. I give a birth to every single project I create and execute. All these projects for over 26 years are my children, to tell you the truth. It's more like a long, continuous thread made out of places, of people, of experiences that stayed with me throughout all my journey. So, and I can generally speak about any one of these events at length. So, because I care deeply. That said, I think looking back or looking into my journey from a little bit of a distance, I realized that many of the projects that mattered most sat at a very particular point of time. It was either the first one or perhaps the last one. And that they were moments of transition at some of the. These kind of moments carries a certain responsibility. And because they're not just creating something beautiful, but they're shaping how it will be remembered. And as I always say, I create memories. So there were first, they changed the landscape in Singapore for sure, in Asia. And the one that I always like to talk about, and is a pride of my whole journey and career, is the retrospective of Valentino. It's an exhibition that I worked with incredible people to bring over to Singapore, to Asia, over 12 years ago. And it was full retrospective of Valentino archives, over 100 incredible pieces of art.
Wow.
It was not simply about celebrating a fashion house. It was really about framing fashion as a cultural experience, as a history, and it created so many emotions.
Wow.
I was privileged to work with Les Arts Decorative Museum in Paris, and especially this incredible curator, Pamela Golbin, with the House of Valentina and with archives, Valentina Archives, and with the office Mr. Valentina himself. So this project really invited people to slow down, to observe beauty with reverence, and to understand craftsmanship on a completely different level. It's an art. Another project that I guess probably would be good to mention is a Tiffany's and core activation that was really significant for us here in Singapore, I should say. It was a Singapore takeover, so it was not confined to a single ballroom or a gallery. It was unfolded across the city, across Singapore, and it basically become part of the experience for people who live their daily lives. And it required thinking not only about scale, but just about community, rhythm, and how people move through the places, absorbing something really unique and beautiful. Another one I should probably mention quite recent one. I've staged the um, opening party after the vernissage, opening for Art SG for 2024-2025 at the Art Science Museum. That was an honor given to me to stage this immense party of over 1,000 people attending, art collectors, exhibitors, art lovers in general, and government, and in general, the Society of Singapore and international people flown in for this, for Art SG itself. And I've created the environment in the museum that reflected the art SG in general, that truly showcased the art in its rightful context. And I weaved in the elements, everything was art related. It was food and lighting and entertainment and just little performances and costumes and ambience. Everything spoke through the art and notion of it. And to stage this caliber event at the museum was a huge responsibility because, of course, there were a lot of limitations, a lot of things that we really had to abide by because it isn't very much of a museographic environment. So that was a huge success for me personally, and I believe for all the other parties involved. Another one, I see I'm kind of going through a bit of an exhibition list. Another one was a last one when I staged the 40 years of Royal Oak for Audemars Piguet. It was a global exhibition commemorating the 40 years for this particular model, and it was in Tanjong Pagar railway station. It was an experience, and that building is very, very historical. After that event, they closed up for renovation for different things that had to take place thereafter. So I was really doing it as a last event there. And a railway station is, as usual, it's you imagine departures and arrivals and emotions and longing and hope. So it all was kind of was presented in that space. And of course, I had to express the notion and the exhibition elements. And it was a global exhibition, so the whole activation was globalized, and the exhibition was staged in different countries around the world. So that was definitely part of the history that will stay forever. Another, I should say, fun event that also has been one of my perhaps favorites in the recent times. It was several events that I've done for Longchamp, a luxury brand, Longchamp. And it's so important to be fresh and innovative and talk about your DNA as a brand. And Longchamp is doing it very, very well. So it was challenging because of the setup and requirements given to me by the brand, but it was definitely fun and super successful. And, really, there are so many more experiences that really I can talk for hours. Yes.
I know you
But
can.
what mattered most for me has never been a scale or the names involved. Though I've been incredibly privileged to work with incredible artists and creators and then celebrities. But it was all about the true depths of collaborations and being trusted enough to enter someone else's vision, to enter someone else's world. It has been a real privilege. And of course, I stage events where I totally create everything myself. And these are the, different events, and some of them are for private clients, and some of them are for the major charities in Singapore. Actually, I'm working on one. One is a passion ball that will take place in the end of April that I've been doing for a number of years. And there, basically, I have more freedom.
I know you're renowned for your elegance, Olga. And so, where do you
Mm.
get your inspiration for these events that combine not just creativity but elegance, taste, and for luxury brands? So, where do you get your inspiration? And then, what is it about you and your experiences that prepared you to do these very intricate, sometimes very complicated events that not just anyone, not the average person can actually execute?
Well, about elegance, I feel it. For me, elegance is very intuitive. It's feeling before its concept, to be honest with you. It's almost like a sixth sense. It's what comes from within it, what comes from something that I've been exposed to, something that I've been growing up with and learning. It's culture, it's music, it's art, it's history. And these influences were not something that I kind of constantly, how shall I say, consciously collect. this is something that I've been exposed to all my life. So it's definitely very, very intuitive. And I've been absorbing slowly. This is what, since it's, obviously all my life, and it become of what I see, how I feel, and how I move through the world. So elegance is a restraint, I should say. It's knowing when to stop. It's when knowing when to leave the space and when to allow silence to do the work. Sometimes silence is extremely more reflective and more meaningful than we sometimes assume. It's not about excessive decoration. It's about clarity, balance, and definitely an intention. So in many ways, actually, my books, as you know, I have two books. One is Save the Date, another one is Little Black Book, my COVID project. Then, and both of these books were never really meant to be polished manifesto or something in structural. They are in many ways sharing my inner thoughts, who I am, and how I convey my messages about elegance and about feelings in general. This is what I feel rather than I'm expected to say. So that approach really carries me directly into my work. This is how I create. And whether I'm designing an intimate dinner or I'm designing a museum scale activation, I'm guided by feelings rather than formulas. It's very important for me. I create the memories and I keep repeating it. I trust my intuition deeply and I protect it throughout the whole process, entire process, really. When something feels right, I know it. So elegance for me is really something, not what you apply, it's something that you honor. So
Yes.
that's about elegance.
Who or what inspires you?
Well, to be honest with you, everything, I'm inspired constantly. Everything and anything inspires me. It could be the sound of water. It could be the outfit that I have. It could be the sound of music. It could be, of course, my travel and museum of a particular space that I visit. It could be the smell of the flower. It could be something that someone says casually as a sentence and it deeply affects me, or I'm reflecting on it. So yes, so that's really anything and everything. Sometimes inspirations come from events itself, and an unknown little touch that inspires me to change something or tweak something even during the event itself, or maybe inspire me into something else later on.
Yeah.
So I feel that as long as something is genuine and as long as something comes from the heart and soul, it inspires me. And I believe it will inspire others as well. I'm always observing. I'm always listening, always pay attention at, things that surround me. Maybe it's, I don't know, professional attitude, but I think it's nature as well. So yes, I collect these elements. I collect these feelings.
Wonderful. What are some key lessons that you learned early on when you began doing luxury events?
I think just to be true to yourself, I believe, and the core values that I definitely possess. And that this is what I wanted to project no matter what I've been doing in my life. It's honesty, it's loyalty for sure, it's trust, it's kindness, it's humility, and the ability to truly listen. Sometimes it's while, like listening, sometimes it's underestimated element that I strongly believe makes huge difference. So these values are really fundamental in general in how I started this particular. I've been wearing a lot of hats in my life. This is the hat that I've been wearing for the past 26 years, but I had another hat before. But no matter what I do in my life journey, I think the core values are very important, and to listen is one of the, as I said, most fundamental ones. Yes, I also honestly value very much open-mindedness deeply. We to have a great respect for people, you'll gain the respect back. So this is what something that I really strive for, and this is something that really, really helped me in my journey, in life journey, in my work journey as well, because it creates connections. It creates genuine connections, and when people talk, when it's even uncomfortable for them to talk, it's very important, and I value it.
I agree that when you give, you want to be treated, you treat others the way you want to be treated. The
Yes,
golden rule.
absolutely,
I think that is so key. Are there
absolutely.
are there any life experiences or experiences in general that have shaped you the most?
Yes, leaving the former Soviet Union when I was 15 years old. Anytime I talk about it, I kind of, I Yeah, so I left with my mother when I was 15 years old with $300 in our pockets. That experience shaped my relationship with fear, with work, and resilience for the rest of my life. That's why I'm not really scared. And that's why when you leave everything behind at such a young age, you learn very quickly.
I understand. I
Definitely.
understand.
And you will
Yes.
also learn that nothing is guaranteed. It taught me not to be afraid of hard work, not to be afraid of uncertainty. And I've lived through instabilities. And because of that, I basically don't take anything for granted. And I'm not afraid to start anew and to do something that is really manifests through hard work, but passion, of course, as well.
Oh, Olga, you made me cry
Sorry.
because it's a good thing because we can look back because my parents, that was their story, leaving Korea for Canada with
Yes,
very little, taking
exactly.
a risk. And
Exactly.
so it's the immigrant story.
Yes.
And no, I totally resonate. And
Yes.
I that's very appreciate very much how you put it, that you're not afraid, right?
No,
That it's made you fearless and beautiful because your heart has been enlarged through the process. And wow, no, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I think that's part of the reason why I've been drawn to you.
yes, exactly. Yes, because yes, we have a
Mhm.
similar experiences and we have a core values that are
Yes.
very, very strong, I believe.
Yes.
Because success is not a title. It's
Yes.
something that it's not something that someone else gives you. So success
No.
is when you look at
Yes.
yourself and feel satisfied. So in a gracious way. And you're grateful for the journey that you've been having. And when someone tells me, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
Yeah, Olga, you're so deep. You're so deep. And thank you for answering the question, what does success mean to you? Because it's that experience of facing life or death, or when you risk everything to start anew. And it gives you perspective, doesn't it? The little things no
Absolutely.
longer matter. But I do look up to you. I do think
Thank you.
you are such a role model and you've set a high bar for depth, and you're real, and you have great integrity, you're honest, and just the wisdom that
Thank
you
you.
have, and it comes through in your writings on Instagram, and the show that you have and the work that you do.
Thank
Um,
you.
so
Well, but
yes,
I get inspired every day, but my biggest inspiration are my children, to be honest with you.
please share.
They teach me so much. They teach me how to be true, how to be um, real, how to not to also, just how to challenge myself, how to learn. And they have incredible, interesting journeys themselves, but our core values are really, really the same. So that's really, it's very humbling for me. So I look up to them.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And they're very successful in their own right. I
Yes,
know you're very proud
yes.
of them. Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Who else has helped you over the years to be on this path of success without getting, tainted, or because you are very grounded, and you haven't been affected in any way. How do you stay grounded and true to yourself and authentic?
First, when you live through your experiences in life, teaches you humility. It teaches you to be grounded. It teaches you not to really try to be someone else or try to be someone whom you've been in the past. It gives you a chance to progress, to succeed, to learn. Grounded, that's what I've been taught. This is how really there was no chance and no time for me to pretend or to ride a high horse because I built everything, to be honest with you, myself, with being so grateful and fortunate and just blessed to be surrounded by the most amazing people around me, people who are loyal, people who are talented, people who are honest. And this is incredible. This is something that I learned, that I treasure tremendously. So I guess this
Wonderful.
this is basically you are who, you know how they say, you tell me who your friend is, I tell you who you are. It is exactly true. So when you surround yourself with like-minded people, when you surround yourself with really, really true friends and honest people, it, it's irrelevant whether what kind of a caliber they are and whether they have titles or don't have titles. This is absolutely irrelevant. So for me, it was always a core, and this is the same for my children, and I'm very proud of it.
That's wonderful. Have you learned lessons from setbacks, and what can you share with us about it?
Yes. Well, life is a constant dance, and it could be political, as we all know. And especially, I actually even have a chapter in my book and Save the Date book. It's Politics of Dancing. It's a chapter that tells about the rules and that we can, and sometimes we have to play by them. And especially in my profession, I need to do it in the society, but it might not be always enjoyable. It's just necessary. So for someone who is sensitive and for someone who is sincere, it can be very difficult for the soul. So sometimes one of my challenges I'm still learning is not to take things very personally. And we all go through, moments of life when we are surrounded by, of course, not sometimes very, very nice people, or people who don't share your values, people who are very, very different from yourself. So when we learn how to navigate it, when we learn how to hold our values highly with integrity and how to protect them, then we don't have this misalignment, but it's a journey.
Yes, wonderful. Do you have any advice for your younger self? What would you say to the young Olga?
For my younger self, and even now, while I'm saying, I feel that it's an advice for all the, basically probably any age. For me personally, is to be more patient personally. And for me, because I'm a very, very sensitive person, for me, maybe to be less affected by the actions of others that I cannot control. Especially with the action of others, as I mentioned, that don't reflect my own values. I was told from a young age that as long as you are not behaving in that way yourself, you are okay. So that's something that I always repeat to myself, always. And that kind of helps me some navigating and dealing yeah, so that's something that I need to learn more to not to be too personal when things are not really going my way or when I don't see the same alignment with certain people.
I
Not to take it
understand.
too personally.
Yes, there's a book called Highly Sensitive Person by Elaine, I think Aronson. Have you read that? Um,
No.
and HSP is the term. I'm actually HSP, highly sensitive as well. And it means even your hearing, your body is highly sensitive
Yes,
to
absolutely.
noise, to music. But it also means we're more appreciative of beauty and
Yeah.
art and music. And no, I agree with you on to not care about what other people do
Yeah.
that reflects on them.
Yes.
So, do you have any advice for anyone who wants to do what you've done? Is there any career advice that you would give someone?
Well, it's a very tough career to tell you the truth. People always tell me, or often tell me, "Oh my God, I want to be doing what you're doing. It's so glamorous and so beautiful, but it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard work, days and nights, at least in the way I do it, because I'm not very good at delegating certain things, and I like to be present and at the setups in the middle of the night, and just basically because it's my responsibility. So unless you are willing to work very, very hard, and unless you're willing not to be fearful, and don't do it, because there are many people who do events, of course, and some of them absolutely beautiful, but some of them are copy and paste. So I don't do copy and paste. So if you're thinking that you can just do, I don't know, Olga event or some other incredible event, create a event just by looking at it, it's not going to happen. It's not genuine. So I think that's something that for anybody who wants to go and get into this field, into this profession, it's a very tough one.
Thank you for sharing. And do you have any advice on how do you cultivate elegance and great taste?
As I said, it's a really sixth sense for me. It's very, very natural, but I believe just be yourself and learn things about your own self and be exposed, have an open mind, read. Don't follow necessarily the trends only because it's all very, very short-lived sometimes. Go back to the history, go back to the archives. Try to distinguish fake and real. It touches every part of your life, whether it's a fashion, whether it's a behavior, whether it's a social networking, whether it's communications, which are very, very important. Don't be afraid to be yourself. That cultivates your own personality, and the more you learn and the more exposed to the different areas of life, and especially culture, I think this is when the elegance start to really bloom.
Powerful, powerful words, Olga. Thank you so much. It is
Thank you.
such pleasure and fascinating to hear a slice of your experiences and your incredibly successful career. I mean, you're very renowned in the luxury event space. And for any of you who are watching, please reach out to Olga on LinkedIn. She's also on Instagram. What is your Instagram handle?
It's Events by Olga, one word. And if somebody wants to listen to my incredible conversations with people from all
Yes,
over around the world, I have
yes.
already 58 episodes, my COVID project as well. We all had more time, and my incredible guests had more time than now, but I'm still continuing. They're all on Spotify. It's Conversations with Olga, very simple. Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. So that's another platform.
Wonderful.
Events by Olga is my IG where I narrate, where I tell certain things and I share.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Olga. It has
Thank you.
been such a pleasure. Thank you for yeah, touching us with your authenticity and everything that you shared. I am soaking it all up. And
Thank
so
you.
yes, thank
I
you.
just
And
don't
please
know how to be any other way, to be honest with you. So that's easy. And I'm really grateful for you to have me to and to allow me to share my journey a little bit.
thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And please, if for those of you who are watching, reach out to Olga, as I said, on LinkedIn or Instagram. She's more active on Instagram. But thank you again. And Olga, I will bring you back if you have a new development
No problem. It's
in your
pleasure.
events in the future. Okay. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.